LeBron James is going to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers for the second time after this season's over. And rightfully so. I don't blame the man for wanting to leave what most people would consider, any rational thinkers would consider, the Cavaliers are a bum organization. I hate the Cleveland Cavaliers upper office. I have nothing. I love LeBron James. He's giving Cleveland so much. He gave him he put Cleveland on the map. Before LeBron was drafted, the Cavaliers were a clown franchise. Completely clown franchise. Nobody expected anything from them. And then when LeBron left, the city felt like LeBron was like, I don't know why they feel like LeBron is locked into Cleveland. He owes that organization nothing. They drafted him number one, like any team who had number one pick would have drafted him that year. It was only because they were so bad that they lucked out and got him. So then he goes to Miami and they suck again. He comes back. They've been to the finals every year since. So like LeBron James is the Cleveland Cavaliers. He single-handedly has more success than the whole organization combined. Add up every person who's ever played for Cleveland, their contributions, and it pales in comparison to LeBron James' greatness. So if I'm LeBron James, when I look at this team, I look at the amount of weight I have to pull to get my team just to be competitive. Like, you look at the playoffs this year, he came into the Boston series averaging, 35, 9, and 9. So it's like, and then in game one, he has 15 points, they get destroyed. Game two, he has, 40-point triple-double, they still lose, which goes to show that LeBron every game, he has to come in and be, ridiculous, or else his team doesn't win. Look at the Warriors, like, they don't have to do that. That's the whole point of Durant going there, so everybody can pull an equal amount of weight. So Durant doesn't have to have a bunch of points every game, or Steph doesn't have to have a bunch of points every game. There's games where Klay Thompson has 14 points and they win by 30 points against some people. But if LeBron doesn't have right now LeBron's on this active streak. I can't remember the exact number, but he's played some 860 odd games with scoring at least 10 points in the game. He passed Michael Jordan for that stat. 800 some games in a row where you've had double digit scoring. That's like, that's over 10 years in a row where you consistently always scored over 10 points in a game. So when you consider that, like, he has to be basically Superman every single night, and you can't, occasionally you get Kevin Love to go with you, but man, and obviously LeBron James is just great. That's why he can play the amount of minutes he plays. He's in fantastic physical condition. And he's just unbelievably skilled and mentally sharp and, on point with everything about the game of basketball. But it's only natural to wonder, when is he going to start slowing down? Somebody, I think I watched in First Take, Stephen A. and Max were going at it. And Max had an interesting way to describe LeBron James's current, where he's at in his career. He described LeBron as like a rising fastball. It's a type of pitch where, obviously, generally you throw a regular fastball. There's a point where the ball, everybody expects the ball to start dipping down because it's hit its peak. But a rising fastball, it doesn't start declining at the same rate as a normal fastball. So when you're expecting this thing to drop off, it's still right where it's at. So it appears like it's still going up. LeBron's career has basically been like that. His decline has been so slight that you really can't even tell. And because he's still the best player in the league, it's hard to notice, because even though he's not as good as he was when he was 27, 28, he's still better than everybody else in the NBA. So at this rate, it's going to take at least, he'll be 36, say, a couple in 3-4 years. When he's 36, he's still basically going to be at least one notch better than everybody else. Because right now he's like 4 notches better. When he was 27, he was like 8 notches better. Um, but everything about LeBron James's career is abnormal. There's nothing normal about a player being able to hold his prime as long as he has. He's already passed up. He's been able to hold his prime longer than Kareem. You could argue he's holding his prime as longer than Michael Jordan when you consider LeBron's second year in the league. He was 27 points a game, and that has not stopped. That has not stopped. He's number one in playoff points. So when you consider all that, yeah, the most amazing thing about LeBron is how he's still the number one ranked player. So how long can this really go on is what I'm wondering. Obviously, a year from now, going into next year's training camp, he's basically going to be, close to a carbon copy of himself at the moment. The next 365 days, he's not going to fall off a cliff. So it'll be the year after next year where he might come down just a tiny little bit. But even if you take a little bit away from LeBron, he's still going to be the best player when he's 35, when you look at it from that logic perspective. So this offseason is the most important offseason of LeBron James' career. He has 3 championships. He's played in 8 NBA finals already. He could be 9 this year. So after this year, it's imperative that he finds the right situation, the best situation where he's going to be able to keep getting to finals, because he has, this next 3 to 4 year window is really going to be, he's going to be going all out, like hunting for championships, because you're in that last stretch of your career. Once he's in, next year is going to be his 16th year. So years 16 through, 19 are going to be, the end of his prime. And who knows, as abnormal as LeBron is, he might be, even when he's freaking, 38, he's still going to be at least a regular all-star at that point. It's going to take him that long to come down just to default all-star standards, which is crazy. So, LeBron looks like a guy who's going to play as long as he can play. Like that's what he does. I feel like as good as he is, he could be, he could play longer than anybody, barring injury, of course. So yeah, I hope he gets in the right situation. There's a lot of free agents out there. So there could be any number of player combinations teaming up this offseason. So, but yeah, LeBron at his age, like you look at any other player in his age group, they're worse. They're so much worse compared to when they were in their 20s. And LeBron, you almost can't even tell. You almost can't even tell that he's not in his 20s based off how he plays. So yeah, LeBron James, keep doing your thing, brother. Take it easy.